Hi everyone, Peter Skov from Music is a Journey. I'm jumping on a thread here to help out a friend. This is for Jacob's music channel, Jacob, however you want to pronounce his name. He's a guy in Denmark, outside of Copenhagen, a place called Ranners. And I've been kind of in touch with him recently because he joined in on my challenge from last month, and we've had a little bit of, exchange on each other's videos recently. He does a lot of very short videos, usually showing a variety of albums, mostly on LP, but also sometimes on CD. He covers a fair range of things from pop and rock to metal, even extreme metal. Recently, he's been more into death metal, classic death metal, and he also introduces a lot of Danish artists as well, which is kind of interest to me. So anyway, Jacob is pushing for 200 subs and he's on his way. So he's hoping to get a few more subs by letting this thread spread out. And it's a very simple and kind of a fun thing what he decided to do. For his thread, what he's asking us to do is to spell out the name of a channel in the VC community. And you should spell out the name either by using the titles of albums or titles of bands or even titles of songs, but you should spell out a channel. And he says specifically it doesn't have to be his channel. So I think this is really cool because we get to try to help out Jacob with his channel, and at the same time we can also promote another channel. So that's really neat. So in my recent thread challenge thing that I had going on, which actually wrapped up just last weekend, and then I had some late people joining, and then another friend of mine said he's going to join. So I think my thread is actually not officially closed. It's like part 1 ended and now part 2 is going. But anyway, one of the people who contributed a bit late was someone by the channel name is Young LP Lovers. Now, I really liked the video that he made because, first of all, his selection was really quite diverse. He included Shakira, who is from, I don't know, somewhere in South America, right? He also included a track from a collection of music from Shanghai, basically electronic stuff, electronica, with some maybe like traditional Asian elements. So that was really cool. And then the last one the last one was he picked a band from Cape Breton Island, which also was really neat. And what I also liked was he played short samples of each of the 3 songs that he picked, which was cool. And then just listening to his stories, he had background stories about each of his selections. And he is, I'm going to guess maybe he's Canadian, because they are now living, I guess, around Cape Breton Island, Nova Scotia. But his wife is of, I don't know, Spanish, her mother tongue is Spanish, and they spent 12 years in Shanghai where their children were born, so the children learned to speak Cantonese, he said. And his daughter is planning to, attend school in Canada, so she's learning French, or I'm not sure what the whole details was now. But anyway, he had all these stories about his family and his experiences, and also about the music he was sharing, and that was really, really neat. So I've talked about various other channels as much as possible when I'm making my videos here, especially for people's threads. And so I'm going to spell out Young LP Lovers using band names. So starting off with Y, I actually have a few Y bands, but I'm just grabbing stuff that was already out here behind me rather than digging out boxes from under the table. So I'm going to start off with Yes, The Quest, because I just picked this up a few weeks ago. So Yes is for Y. Then O, this is a group called Oceanic. They released 2 albums only. This is instrumental stuff, and if you can imagine animals as leaders without the gent. It's got that really kind of flowing, melodic, progressive guitar sound that we can hear on a lot of the Animals as Leaders songs, but it doesn't really go into the heavy stuff so much. And these guys broke up, I don't remember if it was because of COVID or it was just before COVID. But Oceanic, and I forget now where they're from exactly, but it's somewhere out on the east coast of Canada. So that's Y-O. And then for the U, I was going to pick Unleash the Archers because I really love to talk about them when I have a chance to. But I decided to go with Unexpect. Unexpect were an avant-garde, I guess, metal band out of Quebec that released 3 albums, and this was the only one that is still actually available. The other 2, you're going to have to cut off a limb and sell it in order to buy the album. But this was In a Flesh what the heck was it called now? Aquarium, I think it was. Oh, it's turned upside down. That's why. It's in a flesh aquarium. So this is unexpect for the U. And for the N, I'm going with Neuraxis. This is a tech death band out of Montreal, if not Montreal, at least Quebec. So Neuraxis for N. And yeah, I'm picking most of the stuff from right off the shelf behind me here, which is all Canadian metal. So for the G, we have Gorguts. So young, yes, oceanic, unexpect, Neuraxis, and Gorguts. Now next is LP. So I'm going to pick Lutharo for the L. Now Lutharo had a couple of EPs and they just released their first full length last year, and I really wanted to get it, haven't got it yet. This is a kind of melodic, sometimes tech death metal band with a female vocalist, Krista Shipperbottom, who is just really, really great. And they have a lot of fun stuff going on. I'm following them on Facebook, so get these kind of notifications. So for LP, we got Lutharo for L, and P, we have Protest the Hero, Canada's answer to Between the Buried and Me, this kind of progressive metalcore stuff. And actually, this one here, this album is called Volition, and it won a Juno Award. I'm actually going to do a video about Juno Awards in metal, Canadian metal, later on. So anyway, LP, we have Protest the Hero. And then the last part is Lovers. So we're going to start off with this one here. This is La Chinga. If you know Spanish, you know I just said a really dirty word. But anyway, La Chinga, this was their latest release, Beyond the Sky. It's their third album. They do have a fourth one gearing up. It's coming out in October. It's coming out in just a couple of weeks. I've pre-ordered it. So yeah, I'll be talking about La Chinga in October. Excellent, like hard rock band that just live in the 1970s. Yeah, cool. From Vancouver. So let's see here. Lovers. There's L. There's an O in Lovers. So this is Oblivion. This is a Quebec tech death band from way back in the 90s. They had a string of albums there in the 90s. This is their second album, Nemesis, which is considered a classic, but I think it was... Oh, maybe this one is the one that's considered their most popular. And I actually had to order this out of Santiago, Chile, in order to get a copy. Because it was just not available anywhere unless, again, I had to cut off a limb, right? So L-O-V, V brings us to Viathan. This is a power metal band from Alberta. I think it's around Calgary. So this is their second album. They've only actually ever released 2 albums. I think there's been talk of a third one, but it's been a few years now, so I don't know what's happening with them recently. V, and then for E, I'm going to throw in Exodus because I just got this in the mail the other day and it's still in the shrink wrap. I haven't loaded it in the computer yet, so I haven't even heard it yet, but this is their persona non grata because Chris Prophy at Chris Prophy's Musically Obsessed, he mentioned this, and then I thought, yeah, I haven't bought any Exodus albums for a long time, so not since Pleasures of the Flesh. So yeah, it's a long time ago because I got that when it came out. So this is their album from 2 years ago, and heard a lot of good things about it. So anyway, got that. E, then R. Oh gosh, I was actually scrambling looking for an R behind me, but then I remembered I had Red 32. So I did a video about this album a few weeks back there. This is Steve Bonino, who has been a solo artist as well as being in other bands, formerly an actor. So this is a band he put together with some other folks. Actually, it was another guy, Tony Romero, who was putting together his second solo album, and then it just evolved into a new band. So because everybody was contributing. So this is Red 32 for the R. And for the S, another one that just came in through the door that I need to put in the computer after this. This is Sabbath, which is a Japanese black metal band, and I think this is their second or third album. And Venom. I saw some videos about the first wave of black metal, and there were a lot of bands I actually didn't know about and some albums I hadn't heard of. And this one here, Sabbath, it was actually another album of theirs that was mentioned. But when I was sampling Sabbath's albums to see, okay, which one I might want to get, I actually liked the bass sound on this one better than the other one. I forget the title of the other one now. But anyway, I'll be getting the other one later on. So there we go for the S, that's Sabbath. So there we have it. Young LP lovers spelled out by band names. And I then extend this invitation to other people out there. Do jump on Jacob's thread and help him get up to 200 subs. That's Jacob's music channel something, KDSP, DI or something like that. He actually not long ago was known as Thor's Music Hammer, and his tag name is Female Fronted Metal Fan or something. So I guess his channel name has changed maybe 2 or 3 times, but Jacob's music channel. So check him out. Jump on the thread. It's really great because you get to help him out, as well as you can pick someone else whose channel you want to promote and you know, help 2 folks at one time. So there you have it. Thanks everyone for watching. Catch you in my April wine video, which I keep talking about and haven't made yet. Okay, bye. Oh, and good luck to Jakob. Tusen tack för den danska video du har lavet för mig. Okay, thank you. Bye.